morning.
Morning.
Chantel, tell us your full name.
Chantel Row.
Cool. So you work at Neta Care.
Mm-hmm.
So you're the first guest of the Humans of Neta Care podcast. So we started this because we wanted to hear from the community that is surrounding Neta Care, so clients, staff, which you are, and all of the communities of families that we work with, which is pretty cool. And so I'm honoured that you will join us as our first guest, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And we'll get to learn how that came about soon. But as we kick off, I wanted you to tell us about you, what your journey was from, I guess, maybe from university that ended up you ended at Neta Care, what that journey looks like, maybe where you worked before that, and then even maybe why you chose Neta Care.
So I graduated with a Bachelor of Psychological Science.
Very cool.
And I'm currently doing my honours in psychology.
Okay.
So I've always been interested in humans and human behaviour and why we do what we do, why we think. And I ended up at Neta Care. I left another position. I was just looking for something different.
Yep.
And I've always loved working with people with disability. So I was previously a support worker.
Nice.
And then I came.
So was I. We
Yeah.
can connect there.
Yeah. And then I came into behaviour support. I guess it was kind of more psych related, and that's really what I wanted to kind of get into, using core theories from my degree and things like that.
Yes.
And I've been at Neta Care for almost 2 years now, I think, or just over 2 years. Yeah.
Well done. You are, considering the age of Neta Care, you are basically a veteran.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. So how has that been for you working at Neta Care? So 2 years now, which is, that's enough time to have gotten to know most of the people, the environment, the culture. You work at the Brookwater office. I thought I mentioned that because we have other offices.
Yeah.
People might be like, I've never seen her in my workplace. But yes, so you work here. So, okay, tell us about that. What has that experience been like for you over time? Have you enjoyed it? Actually, I don't want to put words in your mouth.
I said, no, I hate it.
Oh, God. Why is she still here then?
No, I've actually loved my time here. Coming to a workplace that, I don't know how to put this nicely, treat you like a human being and like a professional and not just like you're a number and there to, I don't know, like obviously we have to meet our KPIs and everything, but like when it's not the whole focus on like we are human beings. And I love the autonomy that I have at Neta Care as well. Like I don't feel like I'm being constantly watched and everything like that.
Micromanaged?
Yeah, no, because no one...
We do micromanage at Neta Care. So maybe not just you. Okay, maybe you are the exclusion. I'm joking, by the way, if anyone doesn't realise. We don't do that. So,
we don't do that,
sorry,
no.
You continue.
I was going to say I've never felt micromanaged at Neta Care.
What a shame.
Yeah. But no, everyone that I've like worked with here has always been so lovely and welcoming and always just willing to like introduce themselves, like any new faces.
Cool.
Yeah, when I first started, I met like a whole heap of people and yeah, everyone was just so friendly.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
I constantly have problem with new faces. I walk through the hallways and I go to new offices and I'm like, so who are you? I love the bit when people ask me, who am I? Like, my favorite answer is just, I work here. You? Who are you? Like, clearly you haven't been through inductions yet.
Yeah.
But, so that's cool. So, okay, 2 years and you've enjoyed it thus far. So I heard something, a small rumor going around. You have been recently appointed, promoted to a new role. Tell us about that. How did that come about? Why did you say yes to that?
Yeah, so the mental health team leader role.
Cool.
I guess that came about. I just had a conversation with Usama and he asked if that was something I'd be interested in. I think I like to say I'm pretty knowledgeable in the behaviour support area.
Cool.
And he kind of asked if like leadership was something I'd be looking at. And like I hadn't really thought about it too much, but I guess a lot of what we do in behaviour support can kind of be sort of leadership, like when we're training staff and parents and things like that. So I guess some of those skills I thought might be transferable to the role of mental health team leader. I
Yeah.
think I'd be a good manager.
Yeah,
I hope so. We'll see.
You're about to find out.
Yeah.
If you're not, oh well, you've been appointed. So that's really cool. And I think interestingly, that will now mean in that allied health space, we probably have more female leaders than we do male. It actually used to be the other way around. And so I definitely think that's a really cool thing for our culture that because when it comes to leadership, I've seen kind of the female style leadership is definitely a lot more nurturing for their people. So that puts you in charge of the psychologist on team, all the behavior practitioners, mental health social workers. I think maybe they're not part of your team anymore. I think they've all been moved to another team, for those who don't know. There may be a lot of people that don't know, I guess, about kind of what a day-to-day looks like for you or for a clinician at Neta Care. Do you want to give us like a little bit of a touch on that? Maybe we talk about like what's been your favorite experience, your best day, and what's been your not so best day. Maybe swap that so that you end on the good one.
Yep. So, not so best day.
Think.
I can't think of one particular day, but
You have good days every day.
not good days, but I would say when I kind of like wake up and get to work and I've found out that like my clients had a really like severe behavior like the day before or something like that. And that can be particularly like not upsetting, but I would say like not even frustrating. I don't know what the word is for it, but it kind of rocks you a little bit when they've been going for so well and then like something really big happens. You're like, okay, like what's going on here? So when that happens, it's definitely not a great day. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Especially if they've like hurt themselves or they've hurt someone else. So that's always tough. Best days, I think, are when I receive an email from like a parent or a stakeholder saying that everything's going really well and like they're really happy with the progress that like their child or participants making. I've also like some support coordinators that I have a good relationship specifically will like refer to me, which makes me feel quite good.
Everything needs that from time to time.
Yeah. So things like that, definitely.
Oh, awesome. Well, I was also wondering because you said before that you kind of transitioned from support work, that direct one-on-one care to into that psychology space, and then you chose the line of more behavioral therapy more. What has that been like for you? That journey? Do you feel like, or you just answer that? Like, what has that journey felt like for you? The experience from one transferable to the other? More appreciation for one or the other? How does that come in handy in your work now?
Yeah, so I think being a support worker previously definitely gave me kind of like an advantage. Obviously working with people with disabilities prior to moving into the behaviour support space. And I worked with some clients who had like challenging behaviours. So I had kind of that experience of like working with those behaviours. I had a little bit of experience with behaviour support plans and being like the implementer of those plans. And then coming through to like a behaviour support role, it's more of like a I guess white collar kind of role. And
you're not referring to my LinkedIn.
No.
Thought that was a slight poke, but that's fine.
I did think of that just then. I was like, blue collar, white collar, and I'm technically white collar, and I think I definitely have an appreciation for what support workers do like on a day-to-day basis, and I always tell them that like I'm just the person that like sits in the office, right? Like you guys are the ones that are actually implementing the plan. You know the participant more than I do. Like I can spend an hour with them, maybe a week, a fortnight, a month, depending on their funding. You guys are spending hours with them every day. So like you guys are the most important thing here. And I always try to have a really good relationship with like the support workers supporting my participants, because like if I don't, then I got to listen to me, and then
then none of your training or things you're trying to implement will ever work. So that's kind of rough. I think I found that I have a lot of appreciation for what happens on the ground as well, because a lot of people might not know that, I did start working as a support worker straight out of, I was going to say university, but no, I straight out of the Air Force. I'm actually was still at uni then as well, because I keep studying. I don't know why, but anyway. But I definitely coming out of that space, and I saw the gap of like the disparity between what, the office white collar guys, I'm talking about the allied health, even the doctors, the GPs, versus the support worker on the ground, like the disparity and them not talking. And so my whole vision was to try and bring that together. How do you find that, by the way? Do you see that as a point of difference with Neta Care? Is that an effective point of difference? Have you actually experienced that difference at all?
I think that Neta Care is pretty, like, we're such a big team, we're so diverse, and we have speeches, we have OTs, we have physiotherapists. I feel like everyone really collaborates really well, and has that kind of respect for the on the ground staff.
Yeah. It's important as well, and I think I'd like you to kind of even comment on this. It's important for the guys on the ground to really realize their significance and the importance of their job, because one of the things we've been really trying to push on is that they do view themselves less important than you, the person with the psych degree who is, the therapist. They don't see themselves as valuable, but you made a comment before about, how valuable their role is. Tell them for a second how important they are and why you think they're important.
So important. The support professionals are, for some clients, keeping them alive on a day-to-day basis.
100%.
Like, that's just incredible. The amount of tasks that they do on a day-to-day basis, like they wear 1,000 hats, really.
Cycle for a second, for another sec.
Debriefing, de-escalating, personal supports, just there's so many different things that they do that I think maybe one of the reasons why I kind of transitioned into this role is because I don't think I could do that long term, because that is so challenging, and like I commend them for being able to do that on a day-to-day basis. It's just incredible.
A lot of effort.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I remember being on shift once and I got spat in the face. I didn't see that one coming.
Yeah.
That's how crazy it can be.
And you just have to kind of deal with that for the rest of the shift, and still have that rapport with your client and just and
it was maybe it was an 8-hour shift, and maybe that occurred 2 hours into it. I got another 6 hours here. It's gonna be a great day.
And you've got to keep that positive regard for your client, because they're a person too, and we all have our bad days. And
naturally, that is a tough gig.
Yeah.
That is absolutely. And I love that you used the term support professional before as well, because that's a term we use here. How'd you come about using that term? Did you just hear the announcement, we're going to do that?
Yeah, well, I know that I used to use the term support worker because I think that's kind of the general term that the industry uses. And then when I came here and we had that announcement that day, and you kind of discussed why we're moving towards the term support professionals, it just made sense because they are professionals. This is a professional role requiring a lot of training, a lot of monitoring. It just kind of makes sense that they're not just a worker, they're a professional. They deserve a title that meets that.
So that's cool. So you used it, and I hope that, people that listen to this, because this is for all our team, I hope that as they listen and they hear this, they start to feel more, maybe even proud of their job and what they do. And, I used to make the comment at inductions that I feel that their job is as important as the general practitioner, right? Because they see the general practitioner, the client might see the general practitioner once a month, maybe.
Yeah.
If it's a serious case, once a week, you are with them probably 3 times a week,
for multiple hours.
Yeah. So you know them well, and if you can't assist them in presenting well to their general practitioner when they go for that appointment, the individual is going to miss out. The person you're supporting is going to miss out on getting the kind of support they actually need. Yeah. Because often they can't articulate what their issues and problems are, but you're with them a lot. So that's really important. I mean, this is the importance of why our support professionals, they should not be just cancelling their shifts last minute because somebody else would do it. Yeah. I feel like that happens when you don't think your job is all that important because you're like, I can just call in sick. Somebody else can look after it. But I don't know. Do you have any comments on that?
It can definitely be difficult to fill shifts last minute, can't it?
And you're like, I'm not even rostering, but I know there's a problem there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think getting them to understand that, like, they are just, if not the most vital part of a participant's, like, supports is really important. Yeah.
Well, I hope that you sound like a great advocate for it, but I certainly hope that you're not the only advocate for it across the allied health team at Neta Care. So that's really cool. Let's shift gears a bit. So kind of let's go back to how you became it became that you were going to be the first guest for the Humans of Neta Care. So I may or may not have posted something apparently stupid on
stuff. So not apparently. No.
That's what I was like. Apparently stupid for those that will stupid. Let's go with that. And it resulted in a whole lot of is kerfuffle the right term? Annoyances. And so it was found derogatory in definitely a lot of spaces, and I apologized. My apology didn't go down well for a lot of people, which I'm like, I don't know what else you want from me. But and then you actually reached out, and I found out some things about you in a conversation that we then had pretty closely after that I didn't even know. But I found something that was really, really powerful. Like, you've been a staff here for 2 years, and I hadn't actually. I know of you. I know about you. We've crossed paths quite a few times, said hello, but we've never actually really developed a connection because, like, my role is, like, very administration. Your role is very seeing people and dealing with their madness. By the way, I do a bit of that too because it's like I'm no longer in the part of life where I get the good news. In my role, it's usually bad like news. There's a fire in the mountain, put it out. Love my life. So we met and we chatted, and that was such a powerful moment of connection because actually I got to know you a bit more than I ever had the opportunity to. You got to educate me a bit, and we started to discover some basics about, well, even the human connection that we can have outside of what our disagreements might be. Do you want to comment on that a little bit, like how that came about from your point of view? Give me some of your narrative.
Well, we had the original email that kind of went out where I think Usama wrote, like, if anyone wants to chat with Emeka, like, he's open to a conversation.
This was after the post.
Yes, this was after the post and the escalation and things like that. And then I kind of, like, it's not something I usually do. Like, I'm a pretty shy person.
I can tell.
That's
why you're going to love your face on the internet. It's going to be so good.
I was obviously having a really outgoing day or something like that. And I was like, you know what? Like, maybe I'll talk to him and just, like, because I've always loved hearing other people's points of views. And even though, like, I obviously didn't agree with, like, your post, like, well, the comments that were made, like, in the video and some, kind of the comments that were made on the post as well. I've always been interested in kind of hearing other people's, like, points of view. Just out of my own interest. And I was like,
I think maybe just a little bit of something about you there. I think it really well ties into the fact that you've really gone down this path of psychology, you understand the human behaviors, why people think the way they do. So I think that's a really good point of connection and why you probably were interested. Sorry. I thought I'd point that out.
Definitely. And I was like, well, maybe, like, I can educate Emeka on some things, like maybe he doesn't understand, like, the LGBTQIA plus community. Maybe he has questions that, like, he doesn't know where to get the answers from. So I thought we could, like, have a conversation, and we did. And I think our conversation went pretty well.
I think so too. After I was like, how dare she? I was like, that was actually pretty good.
We weren't yelling at each other. You had a lot of questions, and I was really grateful for, like, how open you were and how willing you were to ask things that maybe, I guess, some people might have been, like, scared to kind of ask
Yeah.
in the worry of being like offensive and things like that, which I think we do need to be careful of how we ask questions. But I think you came to the right person. Like
like I'm going for psychology.
Yeah.
I'm a defendable person.
Yeah. And sometimes we just don't know things, right? And maybe we don't even know how to ask the question in like an appropriate way. But I think that our conversation went really well. And
I think it progressed. In the conversation, I was like, okay, you know what? This actually went really well. I would love to have a conversation with you on camera. I'd like you to be the first guest. And I think part of for me, ever so selfishly, maybe, it was that part of the reasoning behind that was I'd had all these people come out with all sorts of slurs about me being a homophobe, and I don't remember half the terms. A jerk, I deserve to die. It was pretty bad. It was hilariously bad. Like, it was, why? I'm just another human. And so one of the things that I got out of that conversation that was really powerful to me was that I bleed, you bleed, and we have that commonality, i.e. we're humans, and we can probably trace our DNAs and effectively the fact that we think we have a brain, the similar sizes, we have fingers, that's a commonality. And what that should mean is that we are to protect each other's interests. And that's one of the things I'm a huge advocate of. Humans should protect the interest of other humans, right? Because we actually need each other. Regardless of the difference in our thinking, our opinions, that is all predicated, by the way, on the fact that we're born in different places. We've grown up differently. We've had different experiences. And that's not something we should just go, well, I disagree. Yeah. So shut up. And I'll kill you if you need to be stoned to death if I disagree with what you think. That's not, unfortunately, that's where it seems our community and society is going, which doesn't set a space for open conversation. And certainly one of the things I'm really keen on having in our community of Neta Care, whether it's between staff or clients, is that we can talk. We can disagree, we can rise and we can fall, but the premise and the baseline, the fundamentals of humanity remains, which is we are to protect each other's interests. We're to seek the best for each other, regardless of all of our differences, perhaps. Okay, so that progressed into very cool conversation. And then I said, I told you I had this, I was talking to a friend about it very quickly after the whole event happened. And we discussed this idea that there is potentially 3 categories, I might say, of how, and do correct me wherever I'm wrong, and I really want your thoughts on this because you are really a behavioral psychologist, therapist, and you're really studying further into psychology, so it'd be really good to get your insight into this line of thinking. And fair disclaimer, some people might find the categorization offensive or whatever else. And if you do, sorry, let's talk. But I was really curious about what you thought. So the 3 categories are that people might find themselves when they become a part of the community or decide they will identify as part of the community or discover that new part of their identity. Is that one is that they have, and probably this is maybe the more, I think one's less significant than the other. So let's just go through it. One is they feel, or they were born that way. That's who they are. That's an innate part of their identity from day one. Yeah. Right? They've always felt that, and so they just, okay, well, I'm going to lean into that further. The other category then is trauma, right? They've experienced some really significant trauma in their life. So an example will be a woman who has been caught in a very bad domestic violence situation and has decided that what is right for them is that men are terrible and they can't do it. That's traumatic for them to even find themselves in that ever again. And so they choose that as a new way of life. And then The last will be trend-based, which is, and we see, I think, and I suggested that perhaps we see a lot of people, a lot of the movements that actually identify because it's trendy and it's kind of cool. And I even suggested that maybe maybe even diminishes the significance of people of the first two categories. And it's because it's not innate to them. It's not a true thing that is from the heart, perhaps. It's more a brain thing. It's a decision to be a part of it because it's trendy. A lot of negativity can come out of that. Okay, so these are the three categories that we talked about, and I was very curious as to what you thought, and then you went into exploring that a bit more. You tell me what you think about those categories and from your background and experience. Actually, maybe before you do that, we'll come back to that in a sec. But you're part of the community. Let's make that clear.
Yeah.
If you're comfortable, tell us. Feel free to go into the depth of how you are. If there's a why behind it, all that sort of stuff. Go for it.
So I am part of the LGBTQIA plus community. I'm a lesbian. I have a female partner. I think it was about like grade 10 when I kind of knew. Okay. For me, so when I was like around 15. Before that, I can't really remember. I just don't think I thought much like about either gender. It was really just kind of like, oh, I don't know. Like, and then, there was like for a while, I kind of just kept it to myself. And then there was one night, my dad was just sitting at his desk doing his work as he does. Yeah. And he kind of turns to me and he's like, oh, you got a boyfriend? And I was like, no. And he's like, oh, do you have a girlfriend? You're interested in girls? And I was like, no, I don't, but yeah, I think so. And then that was kind of the end of the conversation. Like he just was like, okay, and went back to his computer. And then, and that was kind of my experience, I think, throughout my whole life, which was obviously a really positive experience, but unfortunately that's not the case for a lot of members of the LGBTQIA plus community. There can be a lot of trauma like associated with coming out, dealing with family that might not agree. My partner's family that she's estranged from didn't really treat her very kindly when she came out as well. So it's very unfortunate when you have like, I had such this positive experience and she unfortunately didn't get that. We also had, when we first started dating, we were working at Woolies together. And we managed to keep it quiet that we were dating for like, I think it was almost like 8 months of us dating. And then one time we were just like, should we just put it on Facebook? And then the next day we were called into the office. We weren't allowed to work together.
Oh, geez.
And part of Woolworths policy is that this is up to managers' discretion. So there was no issues of us working together before. There was no complaints, nothing. Like it was all fine. But the manager at the time decided that one of us would have to transfer departments, which again was up to his discretion. He didn't have to do that because there were plenty of other relationships in the store. Yeah. And so my partner ended up having to move to a different store because of this lovely man who has now no longer working for Woolworths for various reasons.
To really like.
Oh.
Yeah.
So like she had that kind of experience, and like I guess I was kind of shared in that experience of, I guess that would be like my first homophobic experience. So I guess there's like that negative that she really like that impacted her.
Yeah. One of the things I firmly believe in is that it's not okay for her to have been treated the way she was. You too, the discretion there with the manager, which you do see that people do, because like I said at the start, one of the things that is common to us is we're humans and we should look after our best interests. Now, they may disagree with your choices, and I have convictions because of my faith, and that's always going to be clear and known. But I will never, and it should never be okay that you are treated less than, you are punitively treated for it. Not okay at all.
Yeah.
So we can stand on the fact that while we may not fundamentally have an agreement because there's a difference of thinking and ideology there, we're still humans,
Mm-hmm.
and we must care for each other from that perspective. So on behalf of Woolworths, and I don't know why I'm doing this on their behalf, but if they do watch this podcast, I think they should sponsor it, because I've just, on behalf of them, I do apologize to both of you.
Yeah.
No
You'd be
care.
the first.
Oh, really?
They did not give a shit.
Well, I mean, and I see this is unfortunately, this is why the narrative of the community and then the people that come in as the trend associates, and we'll get into that conversation in a minute now, of it, gets to push it really far. Like, get to push the energy of the anger and the aggression and the malice around it. It goes really far, because situations like this happen where other people are treated less than.
Yeah.
Because even in my belief, right, I am not going to convert you to one way of thinking or the other by being a jerk.
Mm-hmm.
It just won't happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, even Jesus himself taught about, like, that you should love others and you should treat them like you want to be treated.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I'm never going to do that by being like, oh, you guys, I'm going to show you because I'm in a position of power.
Mm-hmm.
No. Well, this is part of what causes that chaos, why people then feel like, well, they hate us, so we may as well go out, you know, in reciprocating the hate. But unfortunately, what that means is that then it shuts down conversations. And it means that even when I'm like, let's come to the table and talk so we can have a common ground to start from.
Yeah.
That's not even nearly possible, because, you know, the conversation's already been basically handicapped from the start.
Yeah. I think a lot of the community, I guess, where that anger comes from, like, people, I guess I'm not as big of an advocate, so, like, if I'm get anything wrong, like, please don't come for me, I'll cry. Please correct me, because I'm not the be-all, end-all of the LGBTQIA plus community.
I'm learning to. I'm educated, and I really like that I am. So
and
that's why
there's
to this.
definitely people that are more educated than me that are bigger in the space.
Yeah, they want to have a conversation.
Yeah. I think if you could get some of them on the podcast, like Storm, I think would be awesome to get on the podcast.
Oh,
Storm, or what was the other gentleman's name?
Bradley?
Possibly.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
Collins.
But they seem like really big. Like, I know they might seem to you like angry and aggressive, but I think we need those voices in the community sometimes. Because I guess, a lot of people are just angry that there continues to be like this treatment towards people of the LGBTQIA plus community. And I think that's where that kind of anger and maybe that aggression comes from, because like it's 2025, like they want people to be more educated, and I guess, treating people obviously with respect and everything like that.
And
so
that's the core, that's the foundation of it.
Yeah.
Disagree and not treat others with respect.
Yeah.
And I think, and one of the things I'm really concerned about, and I see, is that it can, and it will, if it's not moderated, it can very much tip so far the other way, because when the pendulum swings, it just all the way to the other way, where no civil conversation can be had anymore, because, well, I don't want to listen to you and you don't want to listen to me.
Yeah.
Just fight about everything, and we can't find a common ground to hear each other out. And I think that's where all conversations should start, because, okay, what matters the most in our world, right? That's a foundation of all things. It should be like, what matters the most? Is it that we're arguing about, you know, whether I disagree with your beliefs and your opinions or not, or whether, like, are we going towards the right place in general? Are we sustainable as humans? Are we producing enough children in our world to keep humanity going? Like, all of the things that actually genuinely matter, right? Not the argumentative things that, like, as basic as, like, respect me, please. Like, don't disagree respectfully.
Yeah.
And let's agree to disagree, or maybe one of us will be educated, and okay, let's see how we go. Yeah. Okay, so let's go into that part of the conversation of, okay, those three categories from a psychoanalysis perspective. What would be this is maybe like a birthing idea, right? And maybe this is something like you do a thesis on.
Yeah. So I did a little bit of research into that category of, like, the man and, like, the woman may have had a, like, bad experience with the man.
The trauma-based.
Yeah, trauma-based. I didn't find too much evidence for that. Okay. So what the research has kind of indicated is that people from the LGBTQIA plus community, they may have experienced there is a higher rate of trauma experience in their past. But what we know is correlation doesn't equal causation, right? So it might be an association or it might not be. Okay. Is kind of what I found. Okay. But I did kind of speak to my partner about that, and she kind of brought up people that have experienced sexual abuse. She had heard of that before, yes. but I'm not sure about the scientific basis on it. I'm not sure how much research has been done on it. Just from what I read, wasn't too much connection. Yeah. But I think it would be an interesting area to maybe look at.
You did say the whole thesis thing before?
Yeah.
After all this? Maybe?
Oh, no more thesis.
You know? It's a bloody great idea. I'll study it and let's see if there's relevance behind it. Because, so my example there was just, the trauma-based one, where more adults in a relationship, but you also, and your partners mentioned kind of the sexual abuse there. I also think a child experiencing something from a very young age, because you kind of see it even after working in this space for a while now. I worked in child safety for a bit, and I found that in child safety, a lot of children that had over-sexualized behaviors, which you will experience in kind of your behavior space as well, is usually birthed from experiences as a child being sexualized by an adult, right? Yeah. And so, so they're working with, I've had to work with a child who was, I think, about 12, very, very, very over-sexualized in a lot of her behaviors. And I've had to, well, for lack of a better term, turned her down sternly, appropriately, with my eyes like this.
Set those boundaries.
Yes, set boundaries. And it's all good for her. You and I can agree as adults, that's the right thing to do, right? But there are times where I looked at her and I thought, I really hope she doesn't interpret my sternness in the future as a correction that makes her have a negative perception of even just men in general, or a negative perception of I was trying to help her to go, okay, you're very young. You're not there yet. And I'm an adult, and I can't be your boyfriend, and I don't know how else to say, you're a child. Yeah. Come the hell down. Yeah. But that was really concerning for me. So so then I've heard of stories where still in child safety, looking after a 17-year-old girl who very similar, but obviously she's gone through stages where we'll tone her down a bit. And she volunteered a story to me where she told me about, her past experiences. And then she literally said, and that's why I'm now a lesbian.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So when I heard that theory, I was like, oh, right. It could be possible. So she's experienced all these things. So, there's that other category. So it's not just in the relationship sense. It could be from the younger ages, they've experienced something that's not okay. Yeah. And so that trend has followed them towards making other decisions. Comments on that?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I don't know much about it, but I think that anything is possible. And if that young person has come to you and told you that, and then that's how she identifies, that's how she feels, that's who she is. Yeah. I think.
Just sad, right?
Yeah.
So, So you're going to do some thesis on that, perhaps, maybe.
Maybe.
The whole 3, I think. Okay.
I'm game enough.
Well, you'll keep studying, because the thing about psychoanalyst, I'm going to call you that from now on, is that they can't stop. They learn some more about humans. They're like, no, we got to learn some more. And I think there's more. There must be more. And truthfully, there's probably a lot more about humans than you can learn in a lifetime. You may need 3, 4.
Humans are so complex.
6 lifetimes to learn it, right? We don't often say the things that we actually want to say. Why don't we do that, by the way?
Because we're scared.
Oh, yeah.
We repress things that we don't want to say. We have like preconceptions about if we say this, then people will think this of me.
Yeah.
Concerned a lot about what other people think of us.
Yes.
Definitely.
I mean, that's a good thing, right?
Mhm.
But it's also a really bad thing because it then leads to behaviors and actions in the future that are not okay or not ideal. But because we've never really gotten to it, because it's important to let things out. I was listening to a guy called John Peterson. You might know him. And I don't swear. You will never hear me drop the F-bomb. Not a word I like at all. But I really respect John Peterson. So I might have some people come at me for that. If you haven't, watch it. He has a university, and John Peterson, free ad for you. He owns a university called the Peterson Academy, and it is $500 a year to attend. And you choose whatever courses you want, and it is brilliant education because he brings in some of the most prestigious, the most high-level philosophers of their space, and he gets them to teach topics, really important topics, university level, and I think it's really cool. But anyway, I say that because he talked about the fact that actually dropping the F-bomb, it has its place in life. It's important. Yeah, that sometimes humans should, because he talked about, I'm not scientific for this in any way, but I'll give it a go. He says something along the lines of, there's this level of rage and anger, like when we're talking about like people don't say the things that they really mean, right? It's like there's this level of annoyed that you get as a human that just mere language words can't describe, can't let it out. And it's important to let it out. Yeah. And so he said, it's actually at that point, you kind of drop an F-bomb, and he did it a couple of times. I wouldn't.
You would never?
Nah. If you ever
do it right now.
Do it, nah.
Do it now.
No thanks. No thank you. If you ever hear me do it, I am mad.
Oh my gosh.
I am upset. Not that I want to be elected, because I don't think that's ever where I want to be. But if I was ever in a political position, I make a commitment to one day drop it on camera. Yep. Mainstream media too, I'm just going to say. But not today, because I'm not that angry. I'm a very happy person generally, so I would never do it. But yeah, isn't that interesting that we don't let out the things that we truly feel and mean and think because we care so deeply about what other people think about us? Is that something that's been like, how much have you encountered that in your studies?
I think a lot. I guess kind of goes back to our caveman brains, right? Like those who kind of strayed from the pack or had different ideas were like ostracized. So we want to be accepted. We want others to accept us for who we are, but we want to make sure that what we're saying kind of sticks with the status quo so that we continue to be accepted. Yeah.
Isn't that fact? But then you have me. And I don't really care about the status quo. I'm just like, cause trouble. No, I do have some level of like, accept me. I'm human too. Yeah. But I'm also like, I want to deliver on really good things for humanity in general, right? And if I believe that I'm doing the right thing as best as possible for others, then sometimes I'll get it wrong. And hate me a little bit if you want. Just don't try and shoot me in the neck or anything. Charlie Kirk reference. Thought I'd drop that there. Okay, let's talk about the other two. So the innate to you, like I feel maybe that's kind of where you might be. Yeah. I don't know what age you didn't say, but like sometime after
15. 15. So yeah. And then I think I'd maybe thought about it a bit before that, but until I got kind of asked, I was kind of like, yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And then you answered your dad and I'm like, I guess I'm rolling with this now.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Have you found other people within that sort of space? I will say maybe like there's a good portion of people that just like, oh, I just realized one day.
Yeah, I think that there is that would be really the biggest kind of circle. Like my partner, like I'd never dated men, but my partner had previously dated men and realized that like she absolutely hated it. And then she saw me walk into Woolworths Deli one day and was just like, I'm a lesbian.
That's the woman.
Yeah. So I think that's what happens like with a lot of people. And I guess like sexual orientation, like identity can be like it's not always just like I know, like it's, you have to kind of go through that journey, or some people go through that journey of like they date men, they date women, they're unsure, and maybe they go back to one or the other, like because they figure out that like that's who they are and that's who they want to be with, and that's their like sexual orientation.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say that makes up probably
Yeah.
a lot of the community. Yeah.
That's interesting. I think I definitely, like in my encounter for a lot of people, that's probably where they've landed. I guess one of my, like putting, say, Christian faith aside and all that sort of stuff, one of the things I become very curious about, you know, within the space and the decision making to go down there, and I know that there's kind of technology that then provides some solution and support there these days, but it's like one of our basic premise that I think most people can agree to as humans is to bring all the humans to the world to keep our world going, to keep Earth going, I don't know, keep our old people looked after. So like how is that then handled within the context of that relationship? And that's one of my genuine questions. I mean, if you feel comfortable, you can answer that like for yourself without thinking about like other people and what they think.
Yeah, well, I was kind of having a conversation about that with my psychologist recently, because like we were once upon a time just born to procreate and build and build and build.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think as we've progressed as humans, like we have a bigger purpose than that now. Like it's not all about, I guess, procreating or continuing the family line. Like that's not it for some people. Some people don't have children. Yeah. Some people, that family line dies with them, and that's okay. But they maybe they've built
scares me, by the way. I'm like, geez, I want like 18 children.
Oh my god.
Not really. That's probably too much. If my wife's watching this and she's like, not with me.
Not with me.
But that scares me.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of even the difference in thinking, right? Like that genuinely, I'm like, I hope my bloodline stays. I'm like, that's what I'm like, I want 18 children. Because if like one messes up or one dies and there's like 17 more.
Yeah. And then see, I probably couldn't care less. Like I think I want kids or a kid, but if my child decided that they didn't want any kids and like our bloodline died with them, that's okay.
Oh, I'm so scared. I'm so scared for you.
That's okay, because I won't be here to care about it. So,
do you know, I always talk about my death as a joke. I'm not even kidding. Like there's like 3 things I want at my funeral. I want there's a guy called Charlton Lewis from City Point. Yep, free shout out to City Point. Just dropping all these names. And it's like I would love to have that guy lead worship, like a service at my funeral. I'll also like Trevor Noah to do a stand-up set.
Yeah.
Fully about me at my funeral. I like just
like an Emeka roast.
Yeah. Yes. Like all the stupid things I've done and said in life, which is why I'm trying to bank it.
Yeah. I think that's the best part of a funeral. When people kind of are reading the eulogies and there's like, it's funny. It's not just sad. I
hate the it's like, you got to remember them and then you're tearing up the entire time.
Yeah.
Sure, there might be like, oh my God, they're not going to be around anymore to be that annoying prick that they were.
And see, I think that's funny because that just kind of shows the essence of like who they were. They were annoying, but like we loved them.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, so the other thing I really want is like, if anything goes wrong at my funeral, I want them to say, you know who wouldn't care? Emeka. You know why? Because he's dead. Like, I want that to be dropped several times.
Yeah.
And there'll be some people who'll be like, oh, that's so uncomfortable. Don't talk about the death like that. And I will just be, I don't know, in heaven somewhere, in my grave, just laughing.
Yep.
Because I think that would be the funniest. I love making people uncomfortable, so I really want to do that in my death.
Yep.
My final pay to the world. Anyway, let's not talk about death. That strayed very quickly. Okay, let's talk about the last one. And the last one was the trend one. And I think maybe it's appropriate that we leave this one for last because we probably finish on that. And I think that's maybe, I'm very curious about that one because that may be the controversial one. Because
I'm not sure how far I agree on this one.
Yeah.
I think maybe what you might think of as like the kind of trend base is because there's been probably like an increase in like people coming into the community, right? Surge. Yeah. But what I think is the reason for that surge is that because being part of the community now is, like, obviously there's still homophobia and there's still people
but a lot more tolerance.
Yes, there's a lot more tolerance and people feel more accepted. So whereas like people back in, I don't know, like the 1960s, like we obviously still had gay people, we had trans people, we had absolutely everyone. Yeah. It wasn't as accepted. So like those people not didn't exist, but they basically didn't because they kept themselves hidden.
Yeah.
Whereas now, like everyone's kind of free to be who they are. And I think that's where maybe like the surge, or it might kind of feel like a trend, but yeah, I'm not sure if trend is the right word. I think it's just more acceptance and freedom to be who you are and like come out like that. What do you think?
I know. I definitely see that point. It definitely could be very clear that because there's a lot more tolerance and acceptance, a lot more people now feel freer to say, well, that's who I am.
Yeah.
And I don't have to be afraid of abuse or anything like that anymore. I don't have to be afraid that my employer might then segregate me from my workplace. Woo-hoo.
That was something my psychologist said to me when I told her I was having this like the original conversation with you. She was like, this could turn back on you. And I was like, I don't think Emeka's stupid enough to get himself in a work cover case like that. Like we're not doing that. And I don't think of you like as a person that would do something like that.
No. I mean, work cover, fair work. All
yeah.
Geez, Australian and the protection of where's my rights? Anyway, it's fine. But no, because I think genuinely, I mentioned before, right? My deepest care is for people. You know, I was talking to an old friend on Sunday who I haven't seen for ages, and she would love that she got a mention. And she's had disagreements with me, like publicly, right, on like Facebook. Yeah. And I'm like, and so when I saw her, I had like this little moment of like jump in my heart.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, she's gonna tear me apart. She's now a lawyer, and I was like, I actually didn't know what law she did. I thought she maybe went into more like human justice because that's what she used to be passionate about, and she's, you know, commented. And I was like, so what kind of lawyer are you these days? And she's like, oh, I'm like a tax lawyer.
Wow.
Okay, cool.
Maybe that's where the money is.
Right. She's like, I do with all like these rich crypto clients now. Like,
yeah.
Cool.
Okay. Yeah. There's the money.
right. I'm like, very cool. No worries. But I was like, you know, we got talking about some of the ideologies and where the difference in thinkings are. But it's interesting, right? Because she's a Christian as well. I caught up with her at church because I went back to an old church I haven't been to for ages. And it's interesting. She had very different ideologies. We have very all the similarities. But okay, tying that back to why I've analyzed, I haven't analyzed, that's the wrong term. I've like done a thesis on studying this. Yeah, the surge, I feel it's concerning to the point where you have a lot of people that enter into the community, and from my perspective, they make people who are, I'm not going to be politically correct, maybe not, I don't know, but they make people who seem like this is legitimate to you. They make them seem illegitimate because it goes over the top. It borderlines and tips over insanity with some of the rhetoric around it. And they just over the top. And it's like, okay, I get that. Like, for example, right, I don't make any point at all to, in any context, to be like, I am a heterosexual man. Like, if you want to normalize it, but I'm not going to do that. Why are you doing that? You're not making it seem normal.
But I guess being a heterosexual man is not from a minority group.
Sure.
So I guess that's where that kind of comes from.
Okay.
Like people of color, people from the like LGBTQIA plus community, like we're minority groups, and typically I'm not a person of color. I'm referring to you.
Well, it's okay. You can be a black man if you want. I'll give you a pass today on me.
Like you experience racism.
Yeah. Air Force.
Yeah.
Calling you out.
Yeah. And I think that's where the minority groups kind of get that bigger voice, right? Like, because they've been spoken about in such like horrible ways. Some people, like, you could have lost job offers because of your color of your skin.
Yeah. My name's a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which it shouldn't be, right?
I'm used to it.
Yeah.
I'm used to being Rebecca. They're for Emeka. It works for me. Jeez, I just roll with it. I used to, when Neta Care first started, and I'll call clients. I've told the stories many times, but maybe not on camera. But I will call clients to sign them up.
Yeah.
And I'll say, "Hi, my name is Emeka from Neta Care," and they'll go, "Oh, great, Rebecca from Neta Care, so good." And we'll have this nice conversation. Then I'll sign them up. And back then, I used to go to people's houses to sign them, sign the physical agreement, and we'll do that. And so knocking at their door. Actually, one of our biggest advocates as a client, she constantly comments on everything that we do online. So it's pretty fantastic if you want to find her. When I rocked up to her house, I knocked at the door and she opened and she looked at me, the strangest look. And she's like, "What the F is Rebecca?" And I was like, it's okay. By now I'm pretty used to it, right? So my answer used to be, and he was that day, well, she sent me. Because she was busy and she couldn't make it, but on her behalf, I'm here to represent. And she's like, "Oh, first I looked confused because I was like, legitimately, I thought we made it clear that I was coming, so I looked confused." And then she actually went on to say, "The young blonde, what'd she say? Cheeky babe that I spoke to."
So maybe you don't have that deep voice after all.
No, I really don't. It's kind of horrible. Like husky, feminine, all these random terms my voice gets given. But yeah, and so she was like, and I was like, well, she sent me. And so we'll go in and I start doing her sign up. And halfway through, she freezes. So she goes, "Oh my effing God, it's you, isn't it?"
Rebecca, Emeka.
"It's you, isn't it?" She's like, "It's you." I was like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "It's you. That's the voice." Because we spoke a few times on the phone.
Yeah.
It's like, "It's you. You effing lied to me." I'm like, "Well, I wasn't going to make you feel like you're a racist. It's fine." I mean, that's how I treat it, right? Yeah. I don't feel any need to be like, "Oh my, that's offensive. I'm male. I'm black. How dare you think I'm Rebecca?" I've been passed off for jobs because, Chukwu Emeka, it's a fairly long name, not very familiar. So I get that. I do intricately get that. I think my fear in when we look at that, high level analysis of the trend base is I hope that it isn't. And I hope sincerely, I always say this thing, it's a Jewish idea that if anyone is to be wrong, let it be me. Right? And I hope if I see something that's detrimental, negative, poor, bad, I hope that I'm always the one who is wrong.
Yeah.
And that I am not going to one day in the future be right. So this is what I certainly hope in my observations I see, if I'm to be bold enough to say, those that maybe align with it more from a trend perspective, the heart position for that seems wildly negatively charged, if that is the case, because they come with a lot of, and I hope it's not. And I hope it's kind of more leans towards what you say, but if anyone is to be wrong, let it be me.
I think that energy that they kind of bring as well is maybe more of I think maybe an excitement to also be part of a group where they finally feel like they belong. Like if they've kind of found that identity along the way.
Yeah.
I guess a lot of activism work comes from that. Yeah. I found who I really am and I align myself with this.
Yeah.
And I want to be involved. I want to speak my truth. I want to yell it from the rooftops. I think that's where a lot of that might come from.
Yeah. So that's this part of that's super fine. Then you have where the line starts getting crossed for me very boldly is when it starts tipping into pushing that into your younger generation. And I factually believe that children don't really know that stuff. You discovered that when you're 15, you're pretty confident in that. But you're not doing that to a 6-year-old. You're very confused at that point. I have a 6-year-old daughter and she's a very confused girl.
Yeah.
Just in life in general. It's I cooked a nice meal last night for dinner and she's like, I want white rice. That's offensive.
Yep.
What do you mean? I went through all this effort for you, And imagine then trying to infuse things like that into her very young, giving her those narratives that we think psychologically from that sort of
I think it's important to teach kids in an age-appropriate way that there are people that are different from them, that there are different, like, sexual orientations. Again, like, I'm not a psychologist and I haven't studied this, so I can't say that I would know what the curriculum would look like or anything like that.
Yeah.
But from what I understand, it's been developed in an age-appropriate way, and the way that things are explained are, like, age-appropriate, and, like, the depth of that it kind of goes into isn't too heavy for, like, a young age. So that's kind of just, like, that lower level of understanding. And then as they kind of age up through primary school, maybe it gets a little bit, like, different. Like, people can be gay, they can be bi, they can be transgender, like, things like that. Again, I don't have the curriculum. I haven't seen it. I know that we spoke about that being pushed kind of through in Melbourne. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know me, I'm a strong advocate for what is right and what sustains humanity in all forms. It's like not even like for our tomorrow, like for our today too. Like what means that we actually all live an amicable life. And I think maybe that's come from a background of growing up in some cases in war-torn environments where things went really south very quickly and seeing the suffering and the horribleness of what that is and what that means. And I think there's a lot of people in the Western world that hasn't remotely and probably thankfully, hopefully, will never experience such things. And so I tend to see things that a lot of people won't anytime soon. And so I want to, what drives me is making sure that we do everything possible not to ever go down that path anytime soon as a society and community, because I am damn grateful to be here.
Yeah, we live in a beautiful country. And we
definitely do. And that's why we can't mess it up.
Yeah.
You know, for all intents and purposes, we can't mess it up. So I think our time is up.
Yeah.
I think we've done an hour.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Was that a good conversation?
I think so, yeah.
Cool. Hopefully no one comes at either of us, but there will always be people that don't like, no matter how nicely you say things, there will always be people that, you know, see the negative in whatever it is you've said. So if that happens, I apologize. Putting you on the spot. I mean, I didn't. You said you wanted to do this. Let the record reflect. But I think it was really good to have you. And I think it's really good that you're part of the Neta Care team. And I really appreciate that you're here. You've been certainly, you've taken my understanding of humanity to another level since encountering you post that. And if that is the only thing that happened from that, I am grateful for that experience. Yeah. So thank you for coming.
You're welcome.
Okay,
Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. Absolutely welcome. Anytime. I don't know. We'll see how when it airs, if people make you cry too much, you might not want to come back. But we'll see how it goes. Okay, so if you were to tell the, I guess, audience or Neta carers who are listening, watching, viewing this episode and has made it all the way to the end about being a part of our community and so on and so forth, what would you tell them? Give your final remarks.
Ooh, I think that we're a pretty close-knit community here. And we have, like, our values and our mission are all really important for, like, our day-to-day.
Yeah.
And personally, I love working here.
Good. I do too, except certain days.
Yeah, certain days.
Yeah.
Me too.
Days that end with Y. Really don't like them. Not true, not true. Yeah.
Yeah, I love my time here, and
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming. Thank you for being a part of the first conversation, the debut of this podcast. Hope that people do enjoy it, and we can continue to be a respectful community of people, not just Neta carers, but like the broader, wider group of people. You know, we don't know where people that might see this, university graduates, professors, whoever might see this, because I do believe it will get seen by a lot of people. It sparks intelligent, hopeful, human-sustaining conversation, ones that maintain humanity, the sanctity of that, and causes organizations to thrive, which is what we hope for. Other than that, I like your tattoo.
Thank you.
Just saw it. Pineapple. Love it. I wouldn't ask you why at the end of our time. But thank you for coming.
You're welcome. Thank you.
See you soon.